Welcome back to Usapang Bayan. Kasama pa rin po natin sina Twogie COO Vic Lee at Chief Marketing Officer Patricia Banaag. Ma'am, how is Twogie different from all the other online platforms out there?
You can look at it from two ends, no? How it is different in terms for the individual members and how it is different also to how employers would be able to benefit from it. So I'll start first with the individual members. So there are probably four key things that set us apart from other online platforms. The first would be the exclusive membership. So not practically there's no other platform that makes or creates an exclusive membership that caters only to a niche market of individuals. Second also would be on top of exclusive membership, pre-processing for members. For many other platforms, for you to become a member, it's as easy as you having an email account, an internet connection, and signing up to be a member of the platform. But that's not the case for Twogie. The vetting process, allows us to retain only those who are the best in their respective industries and the functional areas. And that, I believe, is a plus for individual members because they will rest assured that they are in the company of individuals who are as qualified as they are and competent as they are. The third would be relevant opportunities. Now, earlier we had quite a discussion on making sure that we had quality talents in the database. But we also work very closely with our employer clients in a way that we ensure that they have to offer opportunities that are interesting and appropriate for our members. No? And when we talk about these relevant opportunities, they're not limited to full-time employment opportunities. We also cover consultancy engagements, advisory roles, and even board directorships. So we really try to work with our employer clients to ensure that there's a variety of very relevant and interesting opportunities for talents who are at different stages of their careers. And of course, last would be the confidentiality feature, which we discussed in detail earlier, because senior executives, I say, would be very discreet when they explore alternative opportunities so as to protect their bargaining position, and especially if they're heads of organizations, it's to prevent disrupting the stability or the momentum of the organization itself. So that would be actually the four key reasons or ways we are different versus other online platforms for individual members.
On the other hand, as an employer, as mentioned earlier, we feel that 2G is a game changer because we are providing them an alternative source to tap senior talents quickly or very fast turnaround time because they would have a host of shortlisted profiles at the tip of their fingertips instead of waiting. Usually, they wait for a couple of weeks just for headhunters to share with them 3 shortlisted profiles. In 2G, you would have almost 1,000 shortlisted profiles just by pushing a button. At the same time, and more importantly, it's the cost. 2G provides significantly lower costs versus using traditional search methods for executives.
One of the things you had mentioned earlier was that you have to go through a 3-step process, which is actually vetting the candidates' credentials, qualifications, and so on. How do you actually verify the veracity of the information that each individual member puts in his CV or resume?
We actually, the first step is for us to actually invite the person for a discussion. It's like doing an in-depth interview. We can actually do this face-to-face or via phone or even via Skype for people outside the country. So from there, we try to zero in on the professional strengths of the individual and at the same time, of course, check what is written in their resume.
How do you check it? Do you call up people or?
We don't go to that extent, no, George. But as HR practitioners, you know how the recruitment process is. You would know what questions to ask to draw from these individuals, just to verify the information that are written in their profiles.
I see.
How can this platform, ma'am, promote competence among our Filipino talents?
What do you mean, Rach?
Like, for example, kasi you're pooling top talents, right? How can this promote competence na not just the top talents, but yung to also encourage other people na below naman, not top, to parang exert their best efforts to, you know, aspire, yeah.
While 2G, as mentioned earlier, we're just catering to the 4 levels, top levels in the organization. Of course, we would also consider as members of 2G those one below,
Yeah.
a level below the deputy functional heads. You may be an individual contributor, but very competent in your field,
Yeah.
or you can be a supervisor now, but you would aspire to become a deputy head. We consider those individuals and we spot them also. Aside from partnering with institutions, we also do direct invitations. We also do direct sourcing to to spot top talents whom we can invite to be part of 2G.
Does the size of the organization that they are working in have an impact
yeah.
on what you consider the level of the person? Because somebody's deputy in a very large organization could actually be senior enough or qualified enough to head a small organization.
Yes, not the size of the organization, but the competencies
talaga.
of the person himself or herself.
I see.
Okay. In November 2017, ma'am, you launched a beta platform. Can you tell us more about this?
When you say a beta platform, in a sense, all of the basic functionalities are there. In terms of the members, we're actually able to complete the 3-step process there, create their profiles, and make it searchable to potential employer clients, and vice versa. Also for the employers to be able to search for top talents on the platform. But as with the beta platform, you know, there are some kinks that we like to work out on, and that means also that there are other developments that we'd like to incorporate in the system further to be able to improve our service to both our individual members and our employer clients.
Currently, ma'am, what are the challenges being encountered by the platform? Do you see any challenges? Are there any challenges?
There are quite some challenges, no, because 2G is a startup organization, of course, given that it's highly dependent on a system, and you know how systems are, it's continuously evolving. We have a host of IT people who are 24/7 looking into the system and constantly developing and introducing upgrades and new features. From the time we launched it in November, the beta platform, up to this time, there are a number of improvements already that have been affected in the system. And we most likely will continue to do upgrades.
And I think very initially, what the key challenge that we had actually was introducing 2G to people that we wanted to invite, because they weren't familiar with what 2G was. Maybe we were a fly-by-night operation or whatnot, run away with their information. But that has been addressed now. We actually worked very hard over the months to really educate people as to what 2G did as a platform. We would talk to them and discuss with them in detail what the benefits were, and we are actually seeing now the results of those efforts, because we now see a positive upswing in terms of membership sign up. Now there are now walk-ins compared to us having to directly invite everyone. So we feel that we more or less have gotten the ball rolling in terms of getting 2G and out there in the market.
What would you say are the other existing online platforms that you would consider to be similar, and how are you differentiated from them?
We're similar in a way with LinkedIn. This is a worldwide platform, no? We're similar in a way because the functionalities can be similar. It's also a medium where employers try to tap for talents. But as we have discussed earlier, there are key differences and core differences which we feel are really important to our target market, which are the senior executives and senior managers.
Ma'am, since this is an online platform, ito talaga yung concern ko cybersecurity. Since you have the information of top executives, how sure you are that safe yung information despite the threats ng mga hacking and all?
I guess I'm sure that you're aware that how the government right now is zeroing in
Yeah.
on data privacy, you know, and they have been requiring organizations to work with them to be compliant, and we are compliant. In terms of the hardware and the software needed to make sure that data is physically and technically secure, we also have those. Okay.
Okay. Do you have like any efforts, since you mentioned government, ma'am, do you have any efforts of like partnering with the government in helping you promote 2G to the public, to make it more people aware about the platform?
Actually, we do reach. No, we are trying to make arrangements to tie up with government institutions and agencies, because one of the advocacies of 2G is to provide our Filipino talents working abroad, those who have been working outside the country for several years now and would want to rejoin their families in the Philippines, except that since they've been away for a long time, they don't know anymore the opportunities here. Would like 2G to be able to provide them
Yes.
that access to opportunities in the Philippines. And at the same time also, we would also like our future plans for 2G is for us to also penetrate some countries in the ASEAN region, no? So that we can also provide the younger Filipino talents who would want to explore opportunities working abroad, that kind of a chance.
What would you say would be the percentage of mix of your potential executives that will be assigned abroad, or people who are looking for expatriates? Would it be 5%, 10%?
No, actually, if you look into our talent pool, no, those who have signified interest or intention to go, it's like 35% would want to consider working outside the country also.
As an executive, are you still considered an OFW if you get hired as an executive or a vice president or senior vice president?
I think you're still called OFW, but on a more professional
Level.
level. Yes.
How do you promote 2G, ma'am? Yeah, promote 2G.
Well, various ways. Firstly, since we are an online platform, we also take advantage of the internet or the online sphere to promote 2G. We are present in most of the social media platforms available, but our primary activity is actually on LinkedIn at this time. But we also reach out to potential individual members and employers through other ways. We, for example, send out emails, or we actually also reach out to them individually. Okay, we call them and discuss to them 2G about it. And another way that we also promote 2G is to create tie-ups, no, with existing organizations or institutions. So we have had instances where we sponsored, activities of these organizations that allowed us to introduce 2G to the members of these
Do
institutions.
you
as well.
also organize events, ma'am?
Yes, that would
to make
fall
it-
under part of the tie-ups, yes, and
okay.
sponsorships.
Well, please stay tuned. Magbabalik pa rin po ang Usapang Bayan. Kasama pa rin po natin sina 2G COO Vic Lee at Chief Marketing Officer Patricia Banaag.